this story continues to evolve, and I was trying to remember because obviously we talked about it in the past, and I was like, wait a second. Apple already got fined down there in Brazil. And I was like, trying to remember what the amount was, and it seemed insignificant to Apple at the time. The original fine was $2.34 million. That was the Brazilian Justice Ministry. They ordered Apple to stop selling iPhones without a charger. They said, no, you got to put a charger. And then levied the fine in order, I guess, to incentivize Apple to change its ways. But you and I know that's not that easy as far as supply chain's concerned. And globally, they're selling this box without a charger. Are they really going to reconfigure it exclusively for Brazil? Or are they going to put another box in each order? Anyway, $2 million. We're like, Apple, they ain't going to sneeze over $2 million. But then today, it looks like we got an update on the story. It just escalated to $19 million for continuing to sell. And I'm like, well, 19 is closer to 100. And 100, I feel like you got to sneeze at 100. Even if you're Apple.
Who, Tim?
I'm talking about millions, man. I'm talking about millions. Even 19 million. I don't know. I mean, I realize Apple is richer than certain nations, but a Brazilian court today levied a $19 million social damages fine against Apple for selling iPhones without a charger. The Sao Paulo State Court said that Apple must offer battery chargers with iPhones that are sold in the country, providing a decision in lawsuit brought about by the Brazilian Association of Borrowers, Consumers, and Taxpayers. Apple has said that it stopped offering chargers with the iPhone. Well, we already know about that. The environmental thing. And Brazilians in government, at least, disagreed. Brazilian consumers, I don't know so much how they feel. They can let us know in the comments. I've seen a little bit of feedback from Brazilian consumers saying, hey, Lou, you don't understand how the market is down here. A lot of people don't have chargers already existing. If they're not laying around in the same fashion as they are in places like North America. And Apple's saying, well, too bad for you. Just pick up one of our chargers, or somebody else's for that matter. Government's sitting there saying, well, that's actually more waste, because if a high enough percentage of people are purchasing a separate charger with separate shipping, separate box, and so forth, maybe this wasn't the most efficient or thought out thing, and maybe this is about something else. That's the argument, Will. I just present you the argument. It's part of the job.
Gotcha.
But anyway, they're doubling down. That's a big time double down, as far as I can tell. Mm-hmm. You go from 2, it's more than a double down. You go from 2.7 whatever to 19. And so do we get a response from Apple? Does anything change down there? Is there a point at which they're like, just throw the goddamn charger in because it's costing us more like this? I mean, how many phones are they selling over there? But I don't even know in a court, I would assume Apple's got the lawyers, and I would assume they've got the appeals. But if this thing keeps ratcheting up, I start to wonder if the lawyers are having success down there or not.
And what's to stop other countries from doing this as well?
Well, there's nothing other than the fact that we just haven't seen it. Other countries have done similar things, I guess, like mandating, for example, that Apple has to move away from the Lightning connector towards the USB Type-C as a standard. But I think other countries, particularly Western countries, the same argument can be made of the existence of too many power bricks. So if you're talking about, I don't know, North America or Western Europe or wherever, it might be a different argument than it is in Brazil or name your nation, India or whatever. It could be different in these places. And often when you look at phones that are targeted for those markets, you're actually getting more things in the package as opposed to less. You're getting a headset in some cases. You're getting a charger for sure. Cable case is often included in devices that are targeted at these other markets. So it's just different. But of course, Apple takes the same approach no matter where they're doing business. And in some cases, the other effect of that is extremely expensive devices adjusted for each nation where they're doing business. And when you do the currency exchange, you notice that in some of these places also iPhones are much more expensive. And then people start saying, and I'm still not getting a power brick. And by much more expensive, I mean relative to a US or Canadian purchased iPhone. So anyway, go back down. Let's just see what the situation is right now. Stay there for a second. Apple is expected to sell iPhones with chargers and also provide chargers to all Brazilians who purchase their products after October 13, 2020, according to the Brazilian news site Estadão. Apple ceased providing chargers in iPhone 13. Yeah. Well, this has to do with them not complying. There's 293 comments. Let's see what the top comment is here on an Apple-related site, Mac Rumors. Chump change for Apple. Apple already made double the amount of profit without inputting the Apple charger on iPhones and charging $19 for a 5-watt Apple charger in today's era. That's comment number 1. Comment number 2, funny how these topics show exactly how many fanboys are on Mac Rumors. It's simple. A country has laws. You want to sell your stuff in that country, you follow their laws. It's that simple. Okay, we get the back and forth, though. 22 votes on that one. Last up, I think it's silly for consumers to be okay with their vendors eliminating goods and services, then maintaining and even increasing the price of what is being sold. They should knock $30 off the cost of their phones for not including a charger. All right, well, we got a little taste of it over there. You let me know in the comments here what you think about it. Is this a big consideration for you, especially if you're from Brazil? We'd love to hear from you.